Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter's half-sister the truth about her mom and dad and potentially alienating her from them? I, 42 male, have one daughter with ex-fiancé, 35 female, who is 14 years old. My fiancé got pregnant shortly after with another child who ultimately turned out not to be mine. This girl is now 13 and she lives with my ex and her new husband. When my daughter was 2.5 years old and her sister was almost 1 year old, my fiancé revealed something crazy to me. Essentially, she had been living a double life and the kids that I thought were mine were not in fact mine. I am somewhat clueless of a man and spent a lot of time working as I was an up-and-coming programmer at the time. On top of this, I am a total introvert, so I was completely blindsided by this. Essentially, my fiancé was really young when we met, and she was a poor college student at the time. She only hooked up with me because I had a good job and health insurance, and she told me she needed the insurance to get through the pregnancies. Now, some of this was a lie, because DNA tests revealed that I was the father of the oldest girl. I should have been mad and outraged, but I was just sad. I actually tried to fight in courts to be the legal dad of the 1-year-old that was not biologically mine. I lost a court battle, and only got partial custody of my daughter. Surprisingly, we were able to co-parent well despite the traumatic background. My daughter and her half-sister are incredibly good friends and hang around in the same social circles. Therefore, when my daughter had birthday parties or any celebration or sleepover at my house, her sister always came along. I didn't mind this at all and supported it. So here is where I may be the a-hole. I am doing very well for myself, whereas my ex-fiancé is not. Her and her husband and 4 kids total live in an apartment that is about 15 minutes walk from my 3-bedroom house. The husband is not the dad of the 13-year-old, and he bolted long ago, leaving 13-year-old with a very absentee father. Additionally, their current stepdad is on disability and just lays in bed taking pills all day. Not a bad guy, but got into a work accident and got dependent, I guess. I pay more in child support than I am legally required, because I know they use what I pay for them for the other kids as well, and I want my daughter safe. I guess the conditions are not comfortable for my daughter and her half-sister, so they often walk to my house and stuff when they need to get away. One day, the 13-year-old was really upset about something her bio-dad did, and even told me that I did more for her than he did. That's when I just let her know the truth about our history. Apparently, this made her blow up at her mom, and she begged for me to adopt her basically, and now her mom doesn't want her at my house. I feel like I am not an a-hole for just telling the truth, that I was legally her father for a year, but honestly, I just let the truth out because I want her to know why I was doing so much for her. Am I the a-hole for revealing the truth about her mom? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. It always amazes me how people get mad when others learn the truth about them. If you're embarrassed to tell people, then why would you do it? She wanted to discuss parentage with you and you told her the truth about hers. She's 13, which is just shy of the age where most kids are legally allowed to have input in which parent they live with. The court feels these kids are old enough. I can tell you that I hated learning about things much later in life and hated that family ever tried to hide stuff. It felt like betrayal. I always appreciated the adults who were upfront about it. To make a real follow-up to this, unlike the "You're the a-hole" comments which was bonkers, I think you hit the nail in the head. If Opie didn't say anything at all false, and he just told the truth, he can't be the a-hole. And exactly as you said, if you don't want something to be told about you or to be known about you, why do it in the first place? The kids deserve to know the truth about their parents. And if you think lying to your mature enough kids is the right thing to do because you don't want people to think you did something you actually did to be known, then I don't know what to say. Not the a-hole. It doesn't sound like you did it maliciously, and she is old enough to know the truth. She would have learned sooner or later, and she deserves the truth. Yes, I totally agree. Kids can handle the truth as long as it's explained in an age-appropriate way. Better than storing up resentment for later. Not the a-hole. She's 13. That's old enough to understand the situation. I'm sure she feels loved and validated knowing that you did want to be a part of her life. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my bio dad my stepdad is walking me down the aisle? I, 29 female, am getting married this year, and I told my bio dad, 57 male, that he will not be walking me down the aisle. My mom, 50 female, and him divorced when I was about 4 years old. They had a very horrible relationship, and he has done and said a lot of terrible things to her, some of which I have memories of. Immediately after their split, he got with his now ex-wife who mistreated me. She would often refer to me as the loose woman's daughter, and drunkenly tried to attack me numerous times. Because of this, I never wanted to go to their house or have a relationship with my dad. I would cry and beg to not go visit them. Eventually, the court ruled that I couldn't be forced to visit if I didn't want to. I'm close with some of the family members on my dad's side, particularly my grandmother, aunt, and some cousins, so I would see him when visiting with them. I had told him we would never have a relationship as long as he was with his wife, because of all the trauma she has caused me and other family members. He condoned her behavior. A few years ago, he let me know he was taking their kids, who had been subject to years of mistreatment, and leaving her. He never apologized or wanted to repair our relationship, but simply wanted me to testify against her in court. While he is still going through the divorce and custody battle, he has also since moved on and gotten engaged to another woman. Our relationship has been an endless cycle of him telling me he wants to be involved in my life, but never actually making an effort. I consider him more of a family friend as our relationship is very surface level. A few months ago, my grandmother was very sick and had surgery, and had to find out from my aunt and my mom's side. My stepdad, 48 male, has been in my life since I was 9, and we have an amazing relationship. My fiancé and I spent a lot of time with my parents and my 2 younger siblings. He had never once asked me who would be walking me down the aisle, but he has said whatever I decide, he would respect since it was my day. Although I don't call him dad, he has taken on that role in every aspect of my life. When I told my bio dad about my decision, he was very upset and said that in his eyes it would have been okay if it both walked me down. He went on to say my stepdad had only been there half my life, and that as a baby I was his pride and joy. I asked him to instead do a reading during the ceremony, which was not good enough for him. When he declined, I said, okay, thank you, and that I looked forward to seeing him at the wedding, as it is not uncommon for us going 6+ months without seeing each other unless other family members invite me to events. Then he responded by asking if he did something wrong to make me not want him there, despite me giving no indication that he was not welcome. I have refused to engage further with him, as I am uninterested in rehashing the trauma of my childhood with him once again. Am I the a-hole? You know the old expression, you can choose your friends but you can't choose your family? Sometimes that's flat out wrong. Like here, your stepfather chose you, and your bio father chose not you. You quite naturally shape your wedding based on those choices and the relationships that resulted. Not today, Hall. It's your wedding. I asked him to instead do a reading during the ceremony. You offered a nice compromise which he rejected. Stepfather's been the key father figure in your life for 20 years. In the words of the great Yondu, he may have been your father, girl, but he wasn't your daddy. Thank you. I understand it's his right to turn down the reading, but I felt like I gave him the role I was comfortable with, and that wasn't good enough. Not Dayhal. He never apologized, doesn't seem to care about the negative effects he had in your life, but acts entitled. I don't think he actually cares about you, just what people might say if he doesn't walk you down the aisle. Honestly, that is exactly what I thought. He cares more about the perception from his family once everyone knows. Not Dayhal. What a joke he is. He just wants all the glory and attention of looking like a great father on your wedding day instead of actually being a great father. I'd do the same thing if I was in your shoes. Actually, I think you were really nice what you said when you told him. I would have told him the truth and exactly what I thought of him. Trust me, I wanted to. My fiancé was the one who told me to keep it short and sweet, so that he knows there's no room for discussion and a decision is made. Also, there's only so many times you can tell someone all the things they've done wrong. If they don't get it, they never will. Next story. Am I the a-hole for turning down my stepmother's necklace for my wedding? I, 25 female, am getting married later this year. Got a family necklace from my grandma that my mom, aunts, grandma and 2 cousins weren't theirs. Had that locked in very early. And then my stepmother, of 14 years, tells me she saved the necklace from her wedding for me to wear for mine, as a symbol of us being a true mother-daughter despite not being biologically related. I told her that I had already gotten a necklace from my mom's family, and I wanted to wear that. She was upset. Asked me why I didn't want to get it from her over them. I said because I want something of my mom's to wear on my wedding day, and this has family meaning. She told me what she's giving me has meaning, since her mom gave it to her when she married my dad. I told her it was a sweet offer and I appreciated it, but she could always give it to one of her daughters when they get married. She said it wasn't about that she wanted me to wear it too, and she wanted me to find a way to wear it, not include it, but wear it. I told her I wasn't going to replace the other necklace with hers. She's hurt and angry with me. My dad asked me why I couldn't reassure her that I still see her as my mom and that she didn't need a necklace for that. I told him because I don't see her as my mom. I told him he knows that. She knows that. And yes, she loves me like a daughter, but a lie isn't going to make things better. She will still want me to wear her necklace. She will still bring it up down the line. They told me I should make it up to her and figure out how to wear it to make her happy. My dad suggested I wear one for the ceremony and one for the reception. I said no to that. He told me I was an a-hole for refusing to find a way. She told me that I could wear both together, that they could overlap and I could wear both my moms on me. To try and stop the drama and prevent them from bringing it up more, I asked would she be happy if it were pinned to my bouquet or something. She told me that's a piss-poor consolation prize, and she won't be happy unless I wear it, and that by refusing, I am being needlessly cruel. In my heart, I believe I handled it as well as I could. But am I the a-hole? The reaction to this is making me wonder if I need to reevaluate how I view this. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. It's your wedding and you want to wear the family necklace from your mom's side. That's your decision. If she isn't happy and doesn't understand, that's on her. She has no right to be angry about it. I guess she might be disappointed, but turning down any alternative makes her the a-hole here. Edit. From reading the comments, I see you lost your mom, so that makes stepmom even more the a-hole and she can buzz all the way off. I'm sorry for your loss. Forget about keeping the peace. Stepmother is already on a rampage. Her and her father have bulldozed their way of thinking throughout Opie's life. They expected that Opie loved the stepmother as if she was her biological mom. The boundary pushing continues and will go on unless Opie takes a stand. This is Opie's opportunity to be independent and not compromise herself for the sake of keeping the peace, since it appears that she has been doing that all her life with the stepmother. Time to stop this pushy behavior, especially when it's Opie's day. No compromises, no prisoners. Continue saying no to all suggestions. Do not entertain any suggestions nor give a reason as to why not. Not a-hole. She's being needlessly difficult, and the bouquet thing was a good compromise. Piggybacking to add that since she's being difficult, time to take no prisoners. I want to wear my dead mother's necklace for my wedding. Why are you trying to take away my connection to my dead mother? Hit them hard with guilt trip. Remind them nobody who actually loves you would want to take this from you. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my child's mother that she knew what she signed up for? I had a very short relationship with a woman. We weren't really together because I don't, have relationships with people very often because it disgusts me. I've diagnosed OCD, but would be germaphobe even without that. I've been in therapy, but some things don't go away. I don't have as many of the rituals, but I can't just ignore how disgusting people are. I can't deal with bodily fluids at all. I know immediately when something, example a baby needing a diaper change when I'm holding them, happens and I just need them away from me. So I can try not to need to leave immediately to go puke or take a shower. I also have epilepsy, and with my meds and condition, I have to have a solid 8 hours of sleep every night. There are no exceptions to this unless I want to be of even less help and end up in the hospital with potentially now ineffective meds. Because of these two things, I never wanted to have children or thought that it would happen. I've always used protection on the rare occasions that it came up, but one of them breaks and here we are. When my child's mother got pregnant, I made sure she was aware of these things, but she chose to keep the baby anyway. We broke up, and while there is no formal child support, I try to help. I visit her and the baby multiple times a week, and can hold the baby so she can go do something else. It just can't last that long before she has to come deal with it. I cannot change diapers or do feeds or anything like that. She is now complaining that she has to do everything by herself, is overwhelmed, It has no help because she can't just have constant visitors like in normal times, and I don't do anything because I literally can't. I reminded her that she knew what she signed up for when she insisted on keeping the baby. But now she's mad at me and is enlisting whoever she can. Am I in the wrong here? She chose this knowing that I won't be able to help her beyond money. Everyone sucks here. There is a risk to sleeping together, and babies are a part of that risk. Even with protection or birth control, no option is 100% risk-free. You're not a victim. Nobody is a victim here except the child. You should look into getting a vasectomy so you don't have any more accidents. Get a vasectomy and go to the courts to work out how much child support you should be paying. As is, you're dropping the ball massively. Completely this. You're the a-hole, OP. You should have gotten a vasectomy as soon as you were old enough. Men don't have the same restrictions on their body autonomy as women do, and that would have been the responsible thing for you to do. You didn't. You couldn't be bothered to get a small change to your body that would ensure this wasn't a problem for you. But you're okay with thinking that you can just not do your share in raising a child. Not everyone believes in termination, and you think you can have the say over her body when really you had the say over yours. Go to court, work out how much back pay you owe her for child support, and then pay her regularly what the court determines you owe. I would have said equal share here, but you could have very easily ensured this would never be a problem for you. You chose not to, and you decided that you can get over your wishes long enough to be intimate and enjoyed it enough that you get off. But you can't get over your wishes to deal with an infant? Your choices, your messes. Deal with it. Find out how much money you owe. You're the a-hole. You say you made your child's mother aware of your limitations when she got pregnant. You always knew your limitations. You always knew that contraception can fail. You always knew that sleeping with a woman can lead to pregnancy. You should have made your girlfriend aware of your limitations before you ever did it. She wasn't fully informed before you had slept. Given that you're very clear that you never wanted children and can't contribute to raising them, it even goes so far as saying you should have had a vasectomy before even considering being intimate. Light, you're the a-hole. Not for being unable to do things due to your conditions, but definitely for the heartless way you're talking about the mother of your child. She's had a baby, in a pandemic, and she's telling you as clear as day that she is struggling. Could she have been nicer / used a better tone? Absolutely. But the mother of your child is struggling and needs help. It is on you to help her. If not with feeding / changing / night duty, then think of what other things you could be doing. Can you be doing the shopping for her? Could you help clean her place while she's in the baby nap? Could you cook food or buy meals in bulk? Can you help with mental load, booking appointments and accompanying them, researching daycares, shopping for the next size up clothes? Could you organize for a laundry service to come and help out? You are capable of more than a monetary contribution, and you should start looking for ways to support your child and its mother.
Bridezilla ruins her own wedding. Demands bridal party pay her cancelled wedding. Plus updates. So, my friend Dana, female 29, was supposed to be getting married this past Sunday, January 14th. The wedding got cancelled, and things had gotten very crazy. Dana was getting married to Josh, male 32. She was still in college with me, and asked a few friends from college, myself included, to be her bridal party. Now, from the start, this wedding has been a disaster. I'm going to just point out a few of the crazy stuff we dealt with. 1. She refused to invite my best friend, who she's supposedly good friends with, because she thinks we're lesbian lovers. We're not. 2. She had us go to the dress fitting, and then demanded each of us pay $2,000 each for our dresses. Apparently, she had a specific style she wanted. I can afford it, but I won't buy a $2K dress for one event. Some of the girls at the bridal party don't have that flexibility with money. 3. Apparently, Josh couldn't invite any single females that were not blood relatives of him. So if he had any female friends, they were axed. 4. One of the girls at the bridal party doesn't drink because of her religion. Dana accused her of being pregnant in front of her parents and almost got her kicked out of her house. She was not pregnant, and she dropped from the bridal party. She was a class act though, and never bad-talked Dana. Just said she couldn't make it. We found out about it pretty much on the day of the wedding. 5. She tried to make us cancel our holidays with our families to instead go with her to a destination bachelorette party. I work full-time even during holidays, so I told her that was not happening. More of the bridesmaids said similar things and she dropped it. That's just 5 things of countless drama this wedding was having before the day. Now, the meat of the story comes on the wedding day. The day started horrible. Dana was having a meltdown because apparently the flower girl had to cancel because she has chickenpox. She was threatening to sue the mother unless she brought the sick 3-year-old to the wedding. Josh apparently was able to calm her down from this starter outburst, and we began preparations. The whole day she had constant outbursts. She made people cry, like wedding staff and bridesmaids. The maid of honor deserves a medal for the amount of diplomacy and BS control she had to do. I, for the most part, took the easy route and decided to work outside a bridal suite, like checking flowers, making sure food was okay. Basically any excuse not to be around bride. Eventually I had my makeup and hair done, then the bride asked for a little bit of time alone to decompress from the stress. We didn't even fight it. You could not see a group of women run faster away. Wedding was starting in 30 minutes, so we figured she would be fine alone for that little. I spent those 30 minutes just sitting in the chapel with my phone. It had to be about 5 minutes before the start of the wedding when maid of honor came over to tell me the wedding was canceled. I asked her what happened, and she said Dana was having a quickie with Josh's uncle in the room. Josh caught them. I just stared at the maid of honor with my mouth pretty much about to reach the floor. She told me to run, and that she was trying to get as many people out before things exploded. So I quickly got my purse, gathered the 2 bridesmaids that were carpooling with me, and we left like the devil was after us. I checked with the other bridesmaid and all had escaped. That night, I called the maid of honor to check what happened and the tea was bad. Apparently, and rightfully, Josh called off the wedding, called her a few names, told off his uncle, and has since left with his mates to, I hope, have the biggest single-man party ever. I feel so bad for him. He's an absolute gem of a man. He apparently also told Dana and her parents that she will be paying the cancellation fees. And according to maid of honor, Dana's father told her in front of everyone that she was paying it on her own for being a slut. I thought that was the end of it. I made a choice to separate myself from this mess. Until I got a call from Dana not even an hour ago, demanding $5,000 to help pay her cancellation fees. According to Dana, it was our duty as the bridal party to pay her cancellation fees. I obviously told her no, and that she might as well lose my number. I am never speaking to this woman again. This has been pretty much the reaction of all bridesmaids in the maid of honor. By the way, maid of honor, Josh's older sister. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Hold up, back up. This is a whole high tea serving right here. I have heard sex is good to unstress, but this is a whole other level. Also, props for Josh's sister. Woman is worth her weight in gold. I mean, the sad part? She had her makeup and hair done, and we left dressed and ready. So yeah, she was wearing her wedding dress for this. Damn, she really didn't think her husband would notice that some other dude had just nutted in her? Lol, what a sloppy bride. Well, that was a ride. You do right in telling her to leave you alone. Actions have consequences. Oh, it's been the longest 3 months of my life, not gonna lie. To be frank, even if the wedding went through, I was planning to cut contact. She was a nightmare. It seems unfair, but I expect once her parents have calmed down that they'll likely help her pay the fees, maybe? Not that she deserves the help. I've just seen that happen once the storm is calmer. Her mom, maybe. Her dad won't. I've known them for years. Dad is very much old school, and I've never seen him cave. Ooh boy, way to start the year with a bang, if you'll pardon the pun. What an absolute crap show. Poor Josh. His sister deserves a medal for getting it all out though. Highly recommend inviting her and the other bridesmaids for drinks in a few weeks. If you happen to find out any more fallout from the disaster, then that's just a bonus. Or dinner, so the non-drinking should have been bridesmaid doesn't feel left out. We're having a barbecue next Sunday actually. Dana, of course, not included. Maid of honor is new to the group, but we absolutely want to keep in touch with her. That's great, and maybe along the way you gals can lead Josh in the direction of a worthy girl. Not gonna lie, pretty sure half the bridal party would offer themselves as tribute. He's a good-looking guy. I don't know him that well, but we've had drinks a few times. He'll find a girl when he's ready in his nap. Small update 6 days later. Hey guys, I know a lot of people want to know what happened. After talking to Josh yesterday, he asked me to only say that he's okay, figuring things out and moving on. We're going to stay friends with him and his sister. Dana was told that no one in the group wants to interact with her, and since then it's been mostly radio silence. I can't share more about Josh's future plans as he asked me not to. He did have a good laugh at some of the comments I showed him and appreciates the support. The one detail I did get corrected on for those curious was about his uncle. He's the younger brother of Josh's mother, and he's 55 years old. I thought he was married into the family, but I got that detail wrong. I also found out the most disgusting detail is that Uncle knew Dana since she was a teenager. Dana and Josh are high school sweethearts. So yeah, I kind of feel gross knowing that. Other than that, I got a major haul of cake. So at least I got something good out of this mess. Second update 2.5 months later. Going to start by saying he's doing much better. He's moved out to a new place away from Dana and has some of his mates as roommates. He also cut contact with his uncle, as did most of his family. He's put a pause on dating for some time, considering Dana was his first and only girlfriend for years. So he needs time to heal. Dana has now become persona non grata with my friends. She even tried to move in with one of them without telling her by appearing at 10 p.m. at night and saying, "You can't send me away this late at night." Didn't work. Don't know where she's living now, but I can say for sure she's absolutely without any doubt very much screwed. She has 4 lawsuits. One from Josh for obvious reasons, one from his sister for the dresses she bought, one from the bridesmaid she accused of being pregnant, and one from Josh's uncle since apparently Dana used his credit card. She apparently moved in with him after the wedding failed. So yeah, she threw away her life, and she's very much without support. I saw Dana's parents some days ago, and they haven't had any contact with her since the wedding. They're actually moving with their other daughter, 22, to another state. As for Josh's sister, we've been hanging out for a while. She's actually become super tight with my friends and I. We're even planning a trip sometime next year with her and her 7-year-old to Disney. And yes, we've all agreed to divide the babysitting. We offered, she didn't press us to do so. Dana is a bridezilla who didn't just ruin her own wedding, she nuked all her relationships and her life. We love to see it. Slow clap. I would pay money that there's a bunch of people who are happy to see her fall from grace. I have a couple of people in my life who will end up in the same spot. Unfortunately, I won't be close enough to witness, but I'm hoping it is just as swift and certain. Can people just stop being bridezillas for once? 'Cause Jesus, Dana really nuked everything. The closest I saw to a full-on bridezilla wasn't full-on crazy, just way into her own thing. She was ticky-talking maniac and thinking everyone wanted to do 10 events for her wedding and spent a crap load of money. Her parents were upper middle class, and she was the only daughter and only grandchild, and was getting a lot of family help and blowing thousands. It was more time commitment crazy than banging uncles in her wedding dress crazy. She picked pricey but not unholy expensive dresses. I think I was told $3,500-ish. Like a lot of money, but give people a year's notice and they can afford it. She was exhausting and demanding, and wanted a lot of time commitment, but not expecting everyone to spend $2,000 on a dress crazy. She was so into her own everything for my Insta followers that she forgot nobody actually cared that much. She wanted likes and views. She needed likes and views. She was at the limit you can get to before an intervention is staged. She was exhausting, and I was at an arm's length from it all. Anything beyond that, it'd be a nope for me. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my sister's wedding after she invited my ex instead of me? So here's the tea. My sister Emily is getting married soon. We've been close our whole lives until my recent breakup with my ex Chris. Chris and I were together for 5 years and it was serious. We split up 3 months ago because Chris decided to pursue a career opportunity overseas and I wasn't willing to move. Now, Emily and Chris have always gotten along, but I never imagined she'd take his side over mine. Yesterday, I got the shock of my life. Emily calls me up and casually mentions that she has invited Chris to the wedding as a groomsman. Worse still, she tells me that because of the limited guest list, I am not invited anymore. Her reasoning? She thinks my presence alongside Chris would create drama and ruin her day. Here's where I might be the a-hole. I was supposed to pay for half of Emily's wedding. It was my gift to her, as we come from a modest background and she's always dreamt of a big wedding. Feeling betrayed and hurt, I told her that if she thinks that inviting me to accommodate my ex is okay, then she should also be fine without my financial support. Emily blew up at me, calling me petty and selfish. She said I was ruining her special day and manipulating her emotionally. Now, family members are divided, with some saying I'm justified and others saying I'm being too harsh and letting my breakup affect my sister's happiness. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not a-hole, don't bite the hand that feeds, etc., etc. Putting the ex aside, why the heck would you pay for a wedding you're uninvited from? Did the people on the sister's side not hear that? Geez, OP, you're so mean. How could you not foot half the bill? Yeah, you can't come, but family. I agree. She should tell her sister if she's swapping her for Chris, Chris should pay. Problem solved. His new overseas gig should pay well, no? This. I'm sure your sister's best new buddy will be happy to cover half of the costs for the wedding, since he's such an important part of her life. In fact, who are you, OP, to stand in the way of his chance to step up and really make her day oh so special with his very own checkbook? Seriously, the absolute nerve of some people never ceases to amaze me. If your ex was any kind of a decent person, he would have refused the offer to be a groomsman once he learned that your selfish and entitled sister decided his participation meant you weren't allowed to attend her wedding. The fact that people in your family are defending her behavior and still expect you to fork over thousands of dollars for a wedding you aren't allowed to attend is equally mind-blowing. Your sister chose your ex over you, and she should live with the consequences of her cruel decision. Don't give her a single penny, not even if she changes her mind and oh so magnanimously deigns to allow you to come after all. She showed you how she really feels about you and who she really is inside. And when people show you who they are, believe them. You're honestly better off without such toxic people in your life. I suggest you utilize the handy-dandy block feature as often as you need to in order to cut the BS out of your life. Take some of that money you are saving and take yourself on an epic vacation. Be sure to take lots and lots of happy vacation photos and tag them all "wish you were here." Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law that maybe she shouldn't get with married men next time? My brother, male 40, and his ex-wife, female 40, got divorced out of the blue. According to his ex-wife, she was always clear that she didn't want kids. I don't know the whole truth because my brother honestly avoids this question. Anyway, we were all still shocked when they got divorced because these two loved each other and were inseparable. Very soon after, my brother introduced his girlfriend to us, his very pregnant girlfriend. Math ain't mathing. Mom confronted my brother, but he said it just happened, so he contacted the ex-wife. And after some prodding, she confessed that he has been saying that he wanted children and was having anxiety because they didn't have much time left. This was 3 to 3.5 years ago. He cheated on her. She found out about it and asked for divorce. Anyway, one day after divorce was finalized, he got married to his affair partner, female 29. Now they have 2 children. My brother had changed a lot and he wasn't himself anymore. Always brooding and looking miserable. Of course, with 2 children, you have other priorities, but he became very asocial and didn't do anything outside of work. According to his new wife, he wasn't like this when she first met him. He was happy and laid back. Now they fought a lot. Or mostly she would cry and yell at him and try to get a reaction out of him, but he wouldn't give her anything back. Then one day, he moved out and filed for divorce and shared custody. This was 2 months ago when he told us that he was getting a divorce. Now he spends his weeks without the children, with his ex-wife at her apartment. I think they have reconciled, or at least they are hooking up. I don't have much contact with him anymore because I am disgusted, but he was his old self back. Happy and open and full of life. His current wife, pending divorce, sometimes spends time at my mother's with the children. And it is great and all, but she would not stop talking about the ex-wife. This morning I was there, and as usual, she started talking about her driving by the ex-wife and seeing my brother's car. She was angry, and I get that, but I was starting to feel sick. I mean, my brother is a total C-word, but honestly, for me, she, his current wife, is close second on a C-word scale. I was thinking this to myself absently until I was brought back to the conversation when she was yelling that she felt used to produce children so his ex didn't have to. I got agitated because, while I don't understand why his ex is seeing him again, she did not use his current wife. So I very sternly and loudly said, well, maybe next time don't sleep with married men. She was shocked, then started yelling at me, and I told her that she cannot possibly not have seen that he always loved his ex-wife, and to stop lying to herself. She started crying. When she left, my mom started crying too. Then I started crying because I think I'm the a-hole too. But the problem is, none of what I said was the truth of what happened. I called my brother to yell at him and told him that he should have thought about his children instead of breaking their home. He hung up. Not a-hole. A castle built on another woman's tears won't hold. She was told some home truths. She had an affair with a married man and then married him a day after the divorce was finalized? All I care about now is my nibblings, and I'm afraid both losers will use them in this horror show. Yeah, she insisted to marry him a day after the divorce and made a big deal out of it, sharing memes about shackles breaking on her Insta stories. The C-word. I just can't get past what an a-hole your brother is. If I didn't have my niece and nephew, I would have never wanted anything to do with him ever again. But I want the children to have family and support because they're gonna need it. Damn, girl. I find this extremely entertaining for me, but not you. I'm sorry. The real victims here are the children. I hope they go into therapy. The adults can go and get screwed. They're too young yet. They will probably need therapy the rest of their lives with these parents. Update. Would I be the a-hole if I told my late wife's family that she cheated on me? Original post. Anna, my late wife, died in a car accident. Person lost control of their car and ran her over, and she passed away immediately. We were both 26 at a time. It was 4 years ago, right before the pandemic. We were having a bad time as a couple. She was extremely jealous of me, but also very protective of her phone. Shortly after her death, I found out I had STD, and surprise, surprise, she was cheating on me. On the day she passed, a guy we went to college and was kind of friends with sent her messages, asking for pictures of their last encounter. And the way he talked, it seemed like it was recent, and it seemed that they talked often. I was able to get in her phone and laptop, as she didn't change her passwords because she would always ask to check my phone and I would ask for hers back. So I had a password. There wasn't much because she deleted everything or hid it very well, but the most recent messages, she obviously couldn't delete them. So everything that came after her death was still there. While looking for the pictures he asked for, I found pictures of her and him in a .rar deep in a random place at her work folders, at her laptop. In one of them, she had short hair, which she only had right after we got engaged. So she was with him for at least 3 years, out of our 6 years together. Also found pictures of 2 other guys, but I have no idea who they are. And there were no messages from either of them anywhere. I messaged a friend and told him that I knew, told him about the STD, and that I won't reveal it to anyone and want it to be kept as a secret forever. I asked him if anyone else knew, and he said that his ex knew but he would talk to her. I decided that for the sake of her parents and siblings, I would pretend she was a great person and let them have their beautiful memories with her. Anna's older brother Thomas, 34 male, is a good friend of mine to this day. I would even go as far to say we are best friends. After 2 years of my wife's passing, I was ready to date again. Thomas said that he knew the perfect girl for me, he just wanted me to be sure I was ready for something serious before introducing each other. It was his sister-in-law, Laura, 27 female. We knew each other only superficially but never really talked before our first date. I fell for her quick and hard. We started dating and about 3 months in, we were already telling each other I love yous, and I told her I was going to marry her. It has been a little less than 2 years. We are engaged and I have never been this happy. I told her all about my relationship with Anna. I still have the evidence of what she did, stored away in my computer just in case, and I showed it to Laura. She cried a little and comforted me, but I assured her I was fine and that I was over it. The problem comes with Anna's family, especially her mom and sister. Ever since Anna's passing, every time they talk about her, people want to hear me talk. They ask me about her, try to include me in conversations about her. Anna was such a good cook, right, OP? I loved when she and OP would banter. You remember, OP? Stuff like this. I was able to get by in the beginning by saying it was difficult for me to talk about her, that I was not ready. They let me be for a while, but ever since I started dating Laura, I couldn't use the "I'm not ready" excuse. Her friends, sister and mom get annoyed if I don't sound enthusiastic or depressed. Learn that it's easier to look depressed. Also, if I talk about Anna in any way that isn't portraying her as an angel that came down to earth to bless us with her presence, I get side-eyed. Thankfully, Thomas and her father are great guys and don't push me too hard on this. Her dad is always thankful that I attend their family gatherings, as we like to talk about our field of work. He always says he considers me a son. Her mom and sister, though, they get irritated if I try to dodge the topic of Anna. And his sister even said it out loud once that it's obvious that I didn't love Anna. She apologized after, but I mean, she isn't wrong. By the end, I didn't, and sure as heck don't now. Look, I'm over what happened. I don't feel hate for Anna anymore. I sometimes catch myself wishing she was alive, just so I didn't have to pretend anymore. But also because her death was a tragedy. A lot of people loved her. Her friends organized a reunion for her birthday, and those were incredibly hard. And even though I know her affair partner will be there, I go because I know how much she meant to those people. But this all started to get to me because it's affecting Laura. I can't say I love her in front of these people. I can't even hug her, and Anna's sister gets all moody. Her best friend stopped speaking to Laura. They were also friends. Anna's mom even came to us at Thomas' birthday party last week and asked us to stop dancing to respect her grief. She also contacted my mom and Laura's parents to say that she was incredibly disappointed that I proposed to Laura so soon, saying that we were moving too fast. It's been 4 years. Even if she wasn't a cheater, more than enough time has passed. I'm just over it, and I'm seriously considering telling all of them what happened, just to get the weight off my back. Would I be the a-hole if I did this? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Looks like Anna's family is still trying to control your life, even from the grave. Maybe it's time to let go of their expectations and focus on your own happiness with Laura. You deserve it. If Thomas is a good friend and your families are intertwined, perhaps he is the one to talk with. Let him see the evidence and hear the story. I would honestly stop caring about what her mom and sister think. Maybe tell her brother just to explain why you would be distancing yourself, and that's it. Not the a-hole. I think the brother is the route to go. Show him the evidence and distance from the mom and sister. You want to reveal the truth to alleviate your own burden, but deep down, this isn't just about truth. It's about reclaiming your narrative and the control you lost when Anna cheated on you. Her family unknowingly forces you to uphold a lie that erases your pain, forcing you to live with unresolved resentment. Your silence has served their idealized memory, but it's eating away at your sense of integrity, and that suppression bleeds into your new life with Laura. What you fear most is not their judgment, it's the risk of tarnishing the only connection you have left to the person you once thought you loved. Yet that version of Anna died long before her accident, and you're still grappling with that realization. You're searching for permission to let go, but you don't need it. Exposing the truth might give you momentary relief, but it will permanently alter relationships with people you still care about, like Thomas. The question isn't whether you'd be an a-hole, it's whether you're ready for the fallout of destroying the illusion that sustains Anna's family, and if that weight is worth lifting off your shoulders. Deep down, you're unsure if exposing the truth will really free you, or if it's just another attempt to escape the pain you haven't fully processed. This is the best advice OP is ever going to get. Since you are in a way marrying back into the family, do you really want to blow everything up? I mean, they're going to blow up everything once he does marry her. They're making comments about him not loving Anna and moving on too quickly. Those comments will never stop. It will become his and Laura's kids should have been Anna's, and on and on. Someone, Opie or Laura, is going to snap when they aren't all allowed to celebrate milestones because of grief over Anna. Now for the update 2 months later. Hello again. Sorry for not replying to most of you. There were too many comments and I wasn't able to respond to many. Thank you so much for caring though. I had used Reddit for advice on a work-related issue in the past and it was helpful. I feel like it came through again. Only updating because I received so many DMs asking for it. And I hate when I read something and has no solution. And as I think there's no harm in doing it, here I am. Something that I want to add because I didn't feel it was relevant before, but seeing so many people saying so many mean things about Anna made me feel like it's relevant, just for some people to understand how I feel about her. Maybe it isn't relevant, but I feel like saying it and putting out there. Anna loved me. She really did. She wasn't some monster that wanted me to be miserable and make me a fool. I saw the way she talked about me to other people. She loved me. She was worried I would divorce her and was talking to people about how to turn around our marriage, how to put it back on track. The issue was that she had a kink, and I absolutely had no desire to partake in it. I won't say what it was, but let's just say she did stuff to the guys, not the other way around. Honestly, the guys in the pictures looked pathetic, and if those were to leak, they would be the ones ridiculed, not me. The affair partner that I talked to was desperate when I told him I had pictures. That's also what made it 10 times easier for me to move on. I would say this was better than if she had a normal affair, at least for my mental health. Anyway, she asked a couple times, once early in the relationship and another time after we got married, and I refused unequivocally both times, and was particularly judgmental about it. All the pictures I found were of her in those kink scenarios. So yeah, she was actually frustrated and used those men to satisfy her kink. But she loved me. She was just very selfish, dumb, and reckless. I really believe this. And I say all of this because she was a really terrible wife. She cheated on me for years because of a freaking kink. But she was not a terrible person. She was only a terrible partner. There is a reason so many people loved her so much. I went with my gut feeling of talking to Thomas. Seems like a lot of people came to the same conclusion that this was the best way to deal with this. Me and Laura went to his house and we talked to him and his wife, Laura's sister. I told them that I was only bringing this up now because mine and Laura's lives are being affected by the way people perceive me as Anna's husband. People want me to be a memory of her life, when in reality, being reminded that I was married to her felt like a gut punch and I'm at my limit. But I kept on trying because I love her family. And I know how much she meant to many people. I told them that I did not love the person she became when she died, that we were probably headed for divorce soon, even without the things I learned. The only reason I didn't share it with anyone was because I didn't see a point to tarnish her memory and change people's perception of her when it wouldn't matter to anyone, and it would only bring pain for those that loved her. Now though, this decision is biting me in the butt, because I also have to act like she was perfect. The reason I told them this way was so they could opt in to knowing more if they wanted. But if they would rather stay ignorant to the situation, they could. Thomas wanted to know everything, so I told him. He asked to see the proof, and I told him that the pictures were sexual and graphic. It was not a good idea for him to see it. He asked his wife to see them. I showed it to her, and she confirmed to him that it was real. And they were really bad. She actually flinched looking at them. He asked if it was only one time, and I told him it was with 3 different guys, and one of them went on for at least 3 years that I knew of. He was mad, cussed a lot, not at me but at the situation. I started to regret everything at that point. He said, "Why is she so freaking stupid?" He called Anna stupid a bunch of times. He asked for some time to think stuff over and went out. I left Laura and her sister talking and also went on a drive. About an hour later, Thomas called me and asked me to come back to his house. He and Monica gave me a hug. She was crying a lot. He asked me what I wanted to do. I told him that all I wanted is to move on from this and be happy with Laura. He told me that he would handle his mom and sister, that I didn't need to worry about them anymore, but I should just distance myself from his family and Anna's friends for a while. He said I'm his brother and that will never change. We all hugged it out and that was it. My ex-sister-in-law has since reached out and told me that she knew Anna was cheating on me, but thought we were working through it. Anna told her about a year before she died and said that she would come clean and try to work on the marriage. Now Thomas told her what happened and she has apologized a lot. Said that she has been basically ignoring her flaws ever since she died, but it has turned unhealthy for both her and her mom. She said she will help me with anything I need regarding this topic. Ex-father-in-law and mother-in-law don't know anything and we will keep it that way. I will try to make time to hang out with my father-in-law from time to time, and considering him and my new father-in-law are good friends, me and Thomas have been talking about taking them fishing, golfing, maybe just going to a bar, stuff like that, at least once a month. And as for my ex-mother-in-law, I just keep my interactions to a minimum. So yeah, I think it worked out well. Another thing is that Laura wants to speed up our wedding planning, so hopefully we will get married in March or April. Before we were talking about having a long engagement, but there's no point in waiting. We both know what we want. And I'm happy. Very happy. Yeah, you did the right thing. Good update. On your ex-wife loving you, I believe you. She probably was a very mentally disturbed person, but bad people, narcissists, and mentally unwell people can love, and maybe she did. But if I were you, I wouldn't think about that too much. I don't really think about it. I read my first thread again before posting this update, and I guess I felt weird seeing so many people talking the way they did about Anna without knowing the context. And honestly, I don't think I hate her anymore, and understand she had an urge and needed to scratch it. It just so happens that the urge she had was something that was off limits to me, and she couldn't contain herself and was weak and selfish. I don't know why I feel like this. I guess the kink made it easier to rationalize in my head. Your ex-sister-in-law sounds like a piece of work. Best of luck forwards. Yeah, honestly, I don't buy much of what she said, but if she doesn't mess with my life, I will leave it be. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex-husband there is no us anymore? 2 years ago, I, 37 female, was married to my ex-husband Jason for 5 years, together for 6. Our marriage had been pretty rocky and we fought frequently. Eventually, I guess it got to a point where he decided to cheat on me. I didn't even realize what was going on until I had come home one day to find her and him kissing in the kitchen. That's when he told me that he was seeing someone and that he was in love with her. I'll call the woman Emily for privacy. Emily didn't say anything. She just kissed him on the cheek again before going into the bedroom to help him pack his stuff up, while Jason began telling me about how it'd go through with a divorce. My heart was broken. And to think that just a few weeks prior, this was the man who was telling me future names for our kids. Fast forward 2 years later after that, I am currently engaged to a wonderful man. Recently, we have been planning our wedding as well as our honeymoon. We have also discussed the topic of children and agreed that none of us plan to have children in the near future. And I am so thankful that I didn't end up having any with my ex. This is not disrespecting people who do have kids. One night, when I was watching Netflix on a couch, my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole to see my ex standing there, crying and begging me to talk to him. I opened the door and asked what was wrong, because I wasn't sure if it was an emergency or not. He started by saying he was sorry, Emily was crazy, and that he wanted to come home to me and be the one sleeping with me at night instead of Emily. He went on a whole rant about how much he missed me and that he regrets ending things with me. Him and Emily have a child together, but he says he wishes I was the mother of his kids. Maybe that way he could see me and kiss me every day when he got home. He then asked me if we could rekindle our relationship, and I laughed in his face. I told him that maybe he could have just ended things on a good term instead of going behind my back and cheating on me. If he loved me so much, he wouldn't have slept with someone else. It's his loss. I've already moved on as well. So even if he didn't cheat, I still would have said no, and then told him to leave or I would contact the authorities. He tried to bargain with me before just straight up telling me that he would simply just leave. Anyway, I'm currently laying back down on my couch again while writing this. I'm just a bit worried if I'm actually the a-hole here. What? You mean you didn't put your life in pause and wait around for that prize specimen of a fool? Not the a-hole. Continue being blissfully happy with your new partner and let the ex deal with the consequences of his stupidity. Not the a-hole. He made a choice to cheat on you with Emily, and he likely cheated on her with someone else. The us you had is long gone. Good on you for standing your ground, but also asking if there was an emergency. I completely agree. He made his choice when he cheated, and now he can't just walk back into your life expecting everything to be the same. You did the right thing by standing firm and also showing concern for his well-being, OP. Not the a-hole. Personally, I'd message his lovely wife. Hey, just a little advice. Keep your crybaby husband on a tighter leash. I don't need him showing up at my door, crying and begging me back. I do not want to get police involved, but I will if you don't keep the man you desperately wanted in check. Thanks, and I appreciate it. But I'm petty and I'd like to cause drama for them both and let her know she won what she created. A cheat.